guys, this is Tonisha Fanchon with All the Preacher's Wives. We need you. 20 ladies with 20 stories. It's going to be so epic, this book, to help other ladies that are coming into the ministry, that are going to be marrying into the ministry. They need you. We need your stories. Contact me at allthepreacherswives.com or hit me on the ground at allthepreacherswives. DM me. We need you ladies. Let's go.
Hello again. This is Tonisha Fanchon with All the Preacher's Wives. So excited to have these women telling their courageous stories. But just to give you a snippet of what we're doing and a snippet of what these stories are going to be like, we are doing these interviews. And we have another one for you here today with Brandie. But first, a little bit more about All the Preacher's Wives.
Get ready for All the Preacher's Wives, an anthology and celebration weekend hosted by Tonisha Fanchon, November 11th through the 13th. It's a peek behind the curtain of being a pastor's wife. We are looking for 20 pastors' wives to share their story. So if you are a pastor's wife who is interested in contributing to the book and joining us for the celebration weekends, contact us now at www.allthepreacherswives.com. Space unlimited. Again, www.allthepreacherswives.com.
All right, let's get into it. Here is co-pastor Brandie Manigault. Manigault.
Yes.
Manigault.
So good.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing just trucking, just doing it.
Yeah. I understand. Yes.
So I want to know, what drew you to All the Preacher's Wives?
Good question. I like the vision of what you guys are doing. We don't often share our stories. It's almost like we've been brought up to say what goes on in the home stays in the home. So everybody thinks that they're Lone Rangers. We don't share our stories. We don't tell everybody what we've been going through, what we're dealing with, what's happening, because we don't want to bring shame to the house, or we don't want to put our business in the streets. So everybody, I call it suffering in silence. Like, we just kind of bite our tongue, we deal with it ourselves, but you guys are providing a platform where we can openly share some of the things that we have gone through. Not necessarily, I don't think the goal is to put our business in the street as much as it is to help other people, one, see that we're not doing it alone. You're not the only one that has to go through it. And to help people who are newly in the place that we've been, like, hey, you don't have to do it by yourself. There are other people who have been through it. We can help you. We can be a resource. You can share your feelings. You can share your story with us in a safe place, because a lot of us don't have, who really has the safe space as a pastor's wife to share? Like, it's either, I mean, if we can't share it with the people at the church, because they still have to respect you and respect your family, we can't share it with other leaders. Like, so I feel like you guys are creating a space that allows us the safe space to share and to help each other get through different kind of situations. Like, I haven't been through everything, but I'm sure there's somebody else who has gone through some things that I may deal with that I can learn from in the process.
Yeah. And so that's definitely is so that no one feels like they're alone. No one feels like their experience are just like, it's only me. Why am I going through it?
Right.
Well, girl, we going through it too. The other ladies have gone through it too. And coming together and sharing stories and being able to glean from one another is so, so important. So you're a co-pastor. How long have you been a co-pastor?
The church is 4 years old now. Yep. We started out as a regular church, brick and mortar, people coming together, and then COVID hit, and we were immediately, like the rest of the world, thrown into this online world. And for 2 years, we've been online. About 6 months in, my husband was like, I don't feel like we're supposed to go back to the building. So we've been stewarding the online space for the last 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was that for you and your congregation and like your family? How did that affect everything when you had to just go online and then you stayed online, which is quite different?
It actually was good for us. We went from being a small church reaching maybe 20 people in the area to now we're in Kenya. Like,
Wow.
now we're in different countries. Now we're all over most of our people, we started in California. Most of the people that watch and attend and sow aren't even from the California area. And we would have never thought it, and we would have never been, our reach wouldn't have been what it is if we had gone back to the building.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
it's been really good for us. It's been good for our family to be able to serve in different areas, because not only do we serve our church, but we serve at other churches. And it allows other people who have their own churches to be able to serve with us, because it's not a conflict of time. Like, if we need a worship leader on Sunday morning, they're at their church. But when you're in an online space, we can use other people. Like, they can serve us, we can serve them in the same kind of way. But it's been really good for us to be able to just stay online and be online and have a different type of reach and a different type of outreach.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So did you marry into it? Was your husband already a pastor, or how did that happen when you guys, dating and marrying? How did that happen?
So I didn't want to be a pastor's wife. I'm sure a lot of people say the same thing. I wanted to go to church and go home. I wanted to be a normal churchgoer, maybe serve on the usher team, maybe be a greeter at the door. But I remember when we were dating, we were talking, he'd be like, I'm going to be a pastor one day. He denies it, but he's like, I'm going to be a pastor. Are you going to be okay with that? I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't think it was like, okay, fine. But when we got married, he got a position in California as a worship pastor. And so that was he's been in the church and doing ministry his whole life. But when we got married, he started working as a worship pastor. So we basically started this journey together 16 years ago.
Okay. So he started off as a worship pastor. And when that first started, like, what was your reaction? And what was like your family, parents, if you have any siblings, like, what was their reaction?
Well, we both went to Oral Roberts University, so it's almost like everybody saw it in the cards. Like, they're going to go into ministry. It's just it's the direction their lives are going to go. But we're from the East Coast. So he's from New York, I'm from Baltimore, and we got married on a Saturday and moved to California on Sunday. So it was, so everything was an adjustment for us. Like, we moved out there, we didn't have any family, we didn't have any friends. It was just us, newlyweds, working for this major church out there. And they were happy for us. They were excited for us. We didn't have any kids. It was just us two, so we could be free to do whatever we wanted to do. But it was definitely an adjustment and something that I didn't know, I wasn't prepared for. I don't know if he was prepared for it either, if I'm honest. Like, he hates this story, but he would literally take his phone in, like, if he was going to take a shower, he'd take his phone in the bathroom just in case pastor called. We'd be on the road, and like, if his BlackBerry, because it was that long ago, he had a BlackBerry, like, if his BlackBerry rung, it was an immediate answer. And I'm like, I hate your BlackBerry. Like, they can actually wait till you get out of the shower to answer your phone. But nobody tells you that going into ministry. Like, you feel like you're supposed to be on call 24/7 if the pastor calls you or if the people call you. So that was, I think, the biggest adjustment. We were driving to Vegas one time, and his phone kept going off, and I promised I wanted to throw it out of the window on the 15 in the middle of the desert. I just wanted to chuck it because I at that point was over it. But we just kind of suck it up and keep it moving. But yeah, it was a definite adjustment for us in the beginning. So
with that, and with I'm only, it was kind of like, okay, I'm always here, I'm always available for the ministry. Was that a conflict, and how did you guys adjust to that, as far as like the priority of marriage and church and
honestly,
everything?
it was difficult. It was very difficult adjusting. I think I took a position of, I'm just going to sit back, and if it's ministry related, go for it. Like, I think it's almost like I disassociated with it all for a little bit, like, for the sake of the kingdom, for the sake of ministry. If I'm not going to say no if somebody needs you in the middle of the night, I'm not going to say no to you going to lead worship somewhere. It's all for the Lord. So for me, it was difficult to be okay with it from a 100% pure, genuine space. Now, I did it. I went along with it. I was okay in that sense. Like, it's for the Lord. How can I not be okay with it? I think that's how I reasoned it out in my head. Like, if it's for Jesus, then why would I say no? Like, I'm okay with sacrificing if it's for the sake of the kingdom. And it does
So
bring.
were you able to carry that on, or did you guys have to start putting some boundaries in place?
Oh, it went on for years, many, many years. It wasn't until, like, we would have conversations about it, but I would always see the fruit of what was happening, and I would see all the lives being changed. Like, my husband ministers to young adults a lot. So to see these guys that he's pouring into living great lives, and see, like, them pouring into youth that they're working with, or to see them getting married and having a family. Like, when I see the fruit of it, it almost goes back and cancels out all of the feelings that I had about everything else. Like, yeah, it sucks that he's not home for dinner, or I hate that he's late or whatever. But when I see the fruit, it's like, well, it's worth it. And so that's kind of that's where I sat for a long time. And it wasn't until maybe we started going to counseling, maybe 4 years ago or so, that our counselor, we actually sat in a session one day, and he says, so let me ask you a question. If your phone rings in the middle of the night and someone says to you, I left my drums in the church and I need them, what do you say? He said, I say, all right, I'll be there in a few minutes and unlock. No. First of all, you don't answer the phone.
Wow.
He said, it's not an emergency. You don't answer in the middle of the night. And so I think that was like the aha moment.
Yeah.
Like, we have terrible boundaries and we have to fix them. And so we've been on a journey since then to really live a healthy life together. Like, putting the boundaries in place, and just really being intentional about it.
So as you guys grew on this journey together, how did you or when did you like really say your role as a pastor with him? Like, what
Um,
ministries or all.
when we started Ecos, um, we had the conversation. He's like, "Do you feel called to be a pastor? Not out of obligation, not because I'm asking you, not because it's what you're supposed to do, or do you feel like you're called to be pastor? If something happens to me, will you take over this church and pastor the people?" And I sat with it for a while. Like, I've known since I was a child, like, I'm probably that if there is a call, if there is a lane for me, out of these five, this is probably the one that fits me the best.
Mm,
And it took a minute. I was like, nah, I'm good. But then I actually we were at I don't remember what conference we were at. When they looked right at me and said, "So, are you ready to say yes and be a pastor?" I was like,
who are you talking to?
"Right. Who told you?" And so that weekend I went home and I was like, "Yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for the ride." And it's been fun. It's been a little stressful because sometimes I look at the people like, "Are we going around this same mountain again? Like, these, like, are we doing this again?" But I'm like, "Lord, you got to give me the grace." So it's been a fun ride. It's been a good ride. It's been a fruitful ride. It's been uh, all the up and downs of the ride, but I said yes. So,
Yeah. So for any ladies that may be considering or dating, someone that may be a pastor or a preacher or anything of the like, give me maybe one or two pieces of advice that you would give them or things to like that.
I would definitely say think it through. Think it all the way through. Are you okay with? We'll never know what it all the way looks like, but with what you can see, are you okay with it? Because what I realize is that we're not marrying to what we marry right now is what it is. Don't marry with the idea that things will change. Don't marry thinking, and this just married advice anyway. Don't think that you're going to change him. Who you marry today is who you got. So the pastor that you're about to marry, what is he like? What are his? What are the things that really matter to him, and are you okay with it? Seek counsel. Find you a mentor. Find another pastor's wife to talk to. Find somebody that is not gonna not just give you the good but the bad. Someone that's going to be honest with you and that you can be honest with so that you don't have to do this by yourself. And most importantly, I think don't lose you in it.
That's
Like,
good.
it was easy for me to lose me because I became Pastor Tim's wife, the children's mother. And for years, those were the only two things. "Hi, Sydney's mom." Like, I'd walk into school, "Hi, Sydney's mom. Hi, Tina's mom. Hi, or, "Hey, this is Pastor Tim's wife." No name. And I became okay with being just that. And I remember my mother actually saying to me one day, "Don't lose yourself in being his wife."
That's
So I
good.
would definitely say, don't lose yourself. Remember who you are. Remember what you like. Like, if you like ice cream, don't not like ice cream because you're a pastor's wife now. Like, like just
Yeah.
remember the things about you that you like and that you enjoy, and hold on to those things. Things will go up and down. At the end of the day, it's still you, and it's still you and him. So
I
I
love
think that
that.
would be my it.
Yeah, yeah. You're still you. Like before pastor's wife, before just wife, you are
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah, I love that.
And God
Yeah.
forbid something happen and you end up not together for whatever reasons, you still have you. And if you lose you, you will be, who are you at that point? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's
So
cool.
last thing,
Yes,
uh-oh,
ma'am.
I kicked the stand. Um, the the last thing, has it been a challenge for your children, being
Um,
in that position?
no, because we are intentional that they know that they are our priority. Our kids know we do it together. They've been a
Mm-hmm.
part of before we were pastors because we also had another ministry and we held Friday night worship nights twice a month and we've done conferences and we've done things here and there and it's always been a family thing. Like they are a part of it. They have a say. They go out to
Mm,
eat afterwards with us. They are a part of our ministry and they get
okay.
up and they minister right alongside us. So it's, I think the hardest part for them is when we travel because they can't go. They've got school and they've got their schedules and that kind of thing. Um, but as far as like just being pastors' kids, mm-mm, nope. And we tell everybody, my kids have gotten kicked out of our own children's ministry. I tell I tell people, listen, we're not giving favoritisms and all of that. If you have to discipline them, if you have to kick them out, my son was a crier. My youngest daughter was a whiner. She started riots in children's ministry. She would start crying, and it's almost like she said, "Tag, you're it," and the whole kids department just start crying for no reason. And so they put her out. I said, "Put her out, just like you put everybody else out." And I was mad as fire because I'd have to go get her every time, and I'd miss service.
Wow.
But what we're not going to do is create a system where you feel entitled for anything. You'll receive stuff because of the favor that's on our lives, but you are not entitled to be back here. If you don't act right, you won't be sitting right next to me. So they've had a healthy run at it so far. And I look at them now, and my daughter's leading worship on Wednesday nights for youth at the church, and my other daughter's giving words, and my son has got his little homeboys that he talks to, and like it's been it's been good for them.
I love that. So just making it a whole family thing, making it
Mm-hmm.
very inclusive and letting them know, yeah, you're our kids, but you got to behave too, just like everybody
Mm-hmm.
else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I
I've even
love that
told my
so much.
children, and I tell other people, because my kids come first, if I don't do things that conflict with their hearts. So if, um, for example, like if they had a basketball game or if they had something that they really wanted me to be at, I'm at the game and I'm not at church.
Okay.
Like they come first for me. And I want to make sure that they know that they come first. So, and everybody, everybody knows she's got a game. Like
Yeah.
that's her priority. This is her family. And so I think that the respect that the church gives us um, has helped that as well because they also champion my kids and what they do.
Hmm. All right, so we're going to wrap up right there, but I am excited to hear and read your story and what you're going to put in this anthology, All the Preacher's Wives. Especially, I really like what you said about just kind of letting people know and setting the scene as far as, hey, my family is first. I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
We'll wrap up right here. But ladies, listen, Pastor Brandie is not the only one, co-pastor Brandie. She's not the only one. We still have a few slots left, and you can register and you can courageously share your story so that you can be helping other people into the fold, other wives, other potential wives, and you can also be a part of the sisterhood. All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Brandie. It's been great.
Thanks for having me.
All righty.
Get ready for All the Preacher's Wives, an anthology and celebration weekend hosted by Tonisha Fanchon, November 11th through the 13th. It's a peek behind the curtain of being a pastor's wife. We are looking for 20 pastors' wives to share their story. So if you are a pastor's wife who is interested in contributing to the book and joining us for the celebration weekend, contact us now at www.allthepreacherswives.com. Space unlimited. Again, www.allthepreacherswives.com.